Well, good morning. Sorry for the little bit of a late start. We're just waiting for some late arrivals that we knew were on their way. I'm Mickey Tubbs. I'm the chair of the Cleveland-Cuyahoga County Workforce Development Board, and welcome to our official kickoff of In-Demand Jobs Week. The governor designated May 7th through 11th as In-Demand Jobs Week, and the Workforce Development Board decided to use this opportunity to get the word out that there are good jobs that are in demand here in the Cleveland area. Right now, there are employers with good jobs that they need to fill with qualified workers. Our week will focus on the middle skills jobs in fields such as manufacturing, healthcare, computers, sales, and many more. These jobs do not require a bachelor's degree, but they do require post-secondary skills and credentials. They pay better, and they can lead to a career. As the CEO of a technologies company here in downtown Cleveland called Fit Technologies, I do know firsthand about the needs for skilled workers. We're a company that has 70 plus workers, and we've grown at a pace of about 20% over the last 5 years. And for us, trying to find qualified and experienced senior level network engineers has been quite a challenge. About 5 years ago, we started our own program internally of having some of our field engineers, which are our entry-level engineers coming in and working out at customer sites, begin to be mentored through a program we put together with our engineering team. And that's a good process, although it takes a long time to be able to get someone and then train them to give them about 6 to 7 years of experience. And it's a big commitment on part of the company to provide that extra time and training. And so we know firsthand about, trying to find qualified staff for our company. And the downside of all of that is that, there are a lot of growth opportunities for companies like ours. But if you're in the service business, you have to be able to deliver the service to your customers. And it has at times stymied our growth because we won't take on an opportunity if we don't have enough staff, to provide that level of service that they're needing. Well, when he first took office, County Executive Armin Budish, he learned firsthand from over 100 businesses, such as Fit Technologies, regarding the staffing and workforce development issues that they were facing. We are very happy that the county executive has joined us this morning to help kick off the week and raise awareness of the jobs in demand. It's my pleasure to introduce County Executive Budish.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So it's great to be here to celebrate with all of you In-Demand Jobs Week. It seems that there's always a special day or a week or a month that's designed to bring something to our attention. May alone recognizes, among others, and these are real, Loyalty Day, Scurvy Awareness Day, Hug Your Cat Day, National Lost Sock Day, and National Dance Like a Chicken Day. These are real. So, not to downplay any of those special days, but this week highlights an issue that is extremely important to many, many of our residents, helping people get the training they need for the jobs that are out there right now. And there are lots of good jobs, jobs that lead to careers that are currently available. As Mickey mentioned, when I first came into office, I met with over 100 business leaders in my first 100 days, and every one of them told me that they needed help. They have jobs available that they couldn't fill. They couldn't find the people with the requisite skills and training for those jobs. And yet, as David Merriman knows, and we have lots of people coming into our offices in the county that want to work and can't get those jobs. There's a disconnect there, and it's existed for quite some time. And we've been making progress, I believe, to fill those, to connect to fill the disconnect. But it's a problem. It's a continuing problem. We in the county have done a number of projects to try to fill that gap. Just to mention three, One is our Skill Up program, which we contact businesses. We talk to them about their needs. Many of them have needs at more skilled levels that they can't fill. They've got, in some cases, very good entry-level employees that they feel they could move up if they had the right skills and training. So we have stepped in and agreed to help support that effort. We will help subsidize those employees that get the training either in-house or outside, and if they need training outside, we'll help subsidize that as well. And it seems to be working. A second program is with Tri-C. We've reached a partnership with Tri-C. They've made huge investments in their training facilities and equipment, et cetera, in these in-demand areas. But they've had some problems recruiting enough people to fill their seats, and we have plenty of people. So we've got an agreement where we'll make referrals, and they will provide the training needed for 200 people to start, 200 people for free, basically, for last dollars. So that seems to be working. And then finally, the final one I'll mention is our summer jobs program, which in the past has been basically a jobs program, and that's great. You know, people come in, kids come in, and you know, they get a summer job and they get a paycheck, and then they're done, and that's it. We've been transforming that into more of an internship program where we help match kids with jobs in businesses that or organizations that they can then continue, maybe get a job offer for a job afterwards, and that seems to be working. So we're doing a lot of things, and nothing we do as a county is done ourselves. We have great partners, and that's the only way things get done. So the county participates with the city of Cleveland. We participate with the Workforce Board, and Ohio Means Jobs. We work closely with the state of Ohio. They've been really helpful in the area of job training. And many funders, many of whom are here, and providers, many of whom are here. All that, the only way we make progress is everybody coming together and doing these things together. And that's what is so important about this week. And I appreciate that the Workforce Board has taken the lead on putting this week together, because that does bring people together and help us continue to come up with ways to move forward as a county. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Budish. Well, the board has prepared a calendar of events and activities for each day this week to help us get the word out about in-demand jobs. We have packets that are available here with a calendar and other information on the week that you can pick up today. Later this morning, we wanted to give you an update on some of the things we're doing. We're hosting a session on the future of jobs, which will be fascinating given the level of disruption that technology and artificial intelligence continues to bring to the job and its workforce. Tomorrow there's a session on apprenticeship, which is a key approach to developing talent. Both of these sessions are sponsored by the Ohio Workforce Association, Tri-C, and I'd like to recognize William Gary, who's also one of our board members here today and very active in all these efforts, the Literacy Cooperative, Magnet, and the Greater Cleveland Partnership. I want to thank them for their sponsorship for the Workforce Board this week, as well as Rebecca Kusner, who is the CEO of 4 Workforce, for sponsoring our refreshments this morning. Thank you. We also have some workforce directors from neighboring counties who are with us this morning, and I'd like to welcome them. Bob Dawson from Lake County. They're not here yet. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll be joining us soon. We are very excited about the Economic Development Organization for Northeast Ohio, Team NEO. They're joining us this morning for a special announcement about the supply and demand imbalance in our local workforce. This report gets to what many call the skills gap. A challenge for our workforce is that current opportunities don't necessarily align with with the knowledge and skill set of our current talent pool, according to this report being released here today by Team NEO. We strongly believe here that we need to base our workforce strategies and solutions on facts and a good understanding of what skills are needed in the local labor market. Here from Team NEO to provide a high-level overview of their report, please welcome Jacob Doritsky, Vice President of Strategy and Research, and Mike Stanton, Head of Workforce from Team NEO.
Thanks, Mickey. Thanks so much. Good morning. How is everyone? Happy In-Demand Jobs Week. We are very happy to be a part of it. As Mickey mentioned, excited to be rolling out our second edition of Aligning Opportunities in Northeast Ohio, a report that was funded back in 2014 for the first time by the Cleveland Foundation. This is the third iteration of that report. We've made some enhancements, modifications that we think are pretty interesting and will give the region even better information on how we can align workforce needs and talent. This edition comes out really at the urging of the Cleveland Foundation around what they saw is the need for more post-secondary credentials by 2020. So if you look at some studies, they show that by 2020, 65% or so of jobs in Ohio will require some post-secondary credential. If you think about where we're at today, that number is around 51, 52%. That leaves around 220,000 people potentially out of the labor force in the next couple of years in Northeast Ohio. As someone who works with businesses day to day, talent is key to addressing that fact, and talent is key to winning deals and bringing new companies here. So what the report does is looks at demand from employers relative to how we're credentialing students through our colleges and universities, and notices that there's significant misalignment, particularly in three sectors really important to Northeast Ohio's economy. That's healthcare, our largest sector, manufacturing, our second largest sector of employment, and IT, which is embedded in everything we do, and looks at how we can give people better information about where jobs are going by tracking a few things. One, what's the risk of automation going forward in the future? Two, where are the jobs that are going to offer family-sustaining wages and have job growth potential in the next 5 to 10 years? And three, if we understand kind of where the economy is going, how do we really take a deep dive, which this report does, into manufacturing, into healthcare and IT, and give people the best information possible about career decisions going forward over the next decade. So at a high level, this report really is to start a conversation, I think. It doesn't have all the answers, but we think better data, better information, really holding ourselves accountable as a region is a key piece of what it's going to take to move the dial forward on workforce. So with that said, we'll have copies of this available, but I will pass it off to my colleague Mike Stanton to talk more about how he's going to develop this report and use it in his day-to-day work.
Thanks, sir. Thanks very much, Jacob. As I listened to Jacob talk, he said something at the tail end of that was really interesting to me. He said it doesn't have all the answers. I think that's true. But this forum this morning, coming to speak with you all, I have to admit, I'm real excited, I'm real motivated, because I do believe that the solution to this challenge, in large part, is sitting in this room this morning. So I think it's fantastic to have the opportunity to speak with you all. Recognize a lot of familiar faces out there, but I really do believe that as a region, as we move forward together working, utilizing this data as a common skill set, we're really going to be able to attack the issue at hand, and that being the mismatch between what's required in the marketplace in terms of skill sets and credentials and what we're producing through the schools. So real quick, my role at Team NEO is very much to be an individual, I guess, through our organization to lead us toward addressing the challenge that we see with this report. What that looks like, we think is interesting. Really, what we think there's an opportunity for is to provide this common data set, pull together all the partners throughout the region that can help us impact it and drive the ball forward. And really, our ultimate end state, as we produce this report annually, is not so much to continue to present the data, but ultimately what we want to see is a closing of the gap in the significant areas of our economy in terms of supply and demand of skill sets. When we took this report out last year, we kind of went on a bit of a road show. We met with a lot of different types of organizations, so partners in higher education, partners in economic and workforce development, and partners within the business community, and we got a lot of good insight, and some of which we incorporated in the report this year. But what we continue to hear from all of those entities is this is fantastic data, but it needs to get into the hands of the groups of people that, in my opinion and a lot of people's opinion, is the solution. And that is individuals in high school and middle school right now, and individuals that are working towards re-entering the workforce after having left for a number of years, that adult population. So we see it as a great data set. We'd love to get it into the hands of those types of individuals, because we really see that those groups being the potential solution. And so in working with our partners, as I stated in the onset, in education, workforce development, and economic development, sharing this research far and wide we think is important, because that solution, as I stated, is sitting in a high school classroom right now, is coming into the Ohio Means Job Center looking for training. But allowing those individuals to see this data and utilize it and understand what careers are in demand now and projected to be moving forward, whether or not they'll be lost due to automation, those are very important factors for those individuals as they make a very important investment decision, I would say, in some sort of post-secondary credential. So we're here with the report. We're here to share it today. But more importantly, what I would leave you with is we're not here to report the data and say, okay, see you next year when we do it again. We really want to help impact some change here, and we're going to continue to work to do that every single day. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jacob and Mike, for that overview. And I could say on behalf of the Workforce Board and Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland-Cuyahoga County, we all know the importance of having a common data set, and also the importance of everybody kind of focused in one direction. And I know our effort over the last 2 years and our strategic direction has really been that, helping everybody move in the same direction and making sure that we're all working with the same data. I'd like to introduce Natoya Walker-Minor. She is the Chief of Public Affairs for the City of Cleveland, and she's here to represent Mayor Frank Jackson today. Thank you, Natoya.
Good morning, and I apologize for being late. I was on 90 and there was an accident, so I do apologize, but I certainly did not want to miss this, because this is huge for our community. Connecting Clevelanders to in-demand work is what's required. So many of us, so many of you in this room have been working on this for years, for decades. It's important, it's critical. It is the only way that we are going to move this community, city and county, this region forward, by connecting people to available work, so that we can change the economics of this community by empowering our people to work. We know that a healthy community is a vibrant community, and a vibrant community is dependent on a working community. Those that are contributing to our society, those that have health insurance, those that have a living wage, those that have a safe and warm home, those that have strong communities. And we know that strong communities come from communities that are working, that are empowered, that are connected to the in-demand occupations in the region. They're trained properly, they are prepared, and they contribute. And I just want to thank the strong leadership of the Workforce Investment Board, the wonderful partnership with Cuyahoga County, and the wonderful partnership with all of the partners that are in this room. But we would not be able to do this work. Government cannot do this work alone. Government has to work hand in hand with each of the partners, municipal government, county government, nonprofit, our Chamber of Commerce, and every employer in this region together, aligned, working towards making sure that our Clevelanders, our Cuyahoga County people, our region is connected to this work. It is critical so that our employers do not begin to look outside of this region for their pipeline, but that we understand fully what's required to connect those in this community to the in-demand work. So I just want to thank Grace for her leadership as well. Mickey, it's been a welcome addition to this leadership, and I just want to thank each of you for your continued work, partnership, commitment, and credibility to this work. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
thank you very much for those words, Natoya. And I think all of you can see, I mean, the commitment from the county executive and the mayor's office relative to the workforce efforts and the importance of the workforce efforts to our county and our community. At this time, I'm really pleased to introduce Grace Kilbane, Executive Director of the Workforce Development Board and Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland-Cuyahoga County. She's going to share with us a little about what this Ohio Means Jobs Center can deliver to connect job seekers and employers. As chair of the Workforce Board, it's really been a privilege to be able to see the results of the work of Grace and her team. They really are an amazing team, and they're, a fairly small team here at Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland-Cuyahoga County. Each year, about 4,000 people are placed into jobs, and about 500 receive career technical training. It is the place that, continues to develop to where the vision and research turn into action. Grace?
So good morning, everyone. I would like to also welcome you to our relatively still new location here, our new one-stop center, American Job Center. Some of you I know were here for our grand opening, which didn't seem that long ago. It was in February, though, so at least it's warm and sunny out now instead of freezing. So I do see one of my colleagues, Craig Cernick, who is my counterpart in Portage, Ashtabula, and Cuyahoga counties. Welcome, Craig. And I want to reiterate, first of all, what Mickey was saying in terms of welcoming all of you as our partners. We really can't do this work without everyone involved in what Natoya was saying. And it's so great that you all decided to join us this morning on this kickoff. So I would also like to say that this group, there was a group that planned all of the events this week. It was an ad hoc committee of our board. I see many of you that worked on this in the room today. I want to thank you all for your work, and especially Mary Kelly, who's sitting up here on our staff, who led the effort to get us where we are today. So why did we decide to kind of launch a full-out effort for In-Demand Jobs Week? Our board, the Workforce Development Board, adopted a workforce plan for both our area as well as with our colleagues for Northeast Ohio. And that plan is based on data. And so we've used the data that Jacob Juritsky and Mike Stanton talked about this morning and other data to really, you can't get to in-demand until you know what in-demand is. And the only way you can do that is to make sure that you're doing the data analysis so that you can see what are the skills that businesses are looking for, where are they, how do we get them, and more importantly, how do individuals get on career pathways. So maybe I need to get a job today, and I can't take the time to get the skills I need to get the job I really want. But this is the pathway that I can take to get there. So we need data, and that's why we were so thrilled with Team NEO today that they were able to come and release their latest report. Now, we've got 3 key industries in our area, which number 1 is healthcare, manufacturing, and then IT, which is sort of an industry and sort of in everything, right? And when you look at, if you have a chance to look at the report that Team NEO has done, you'll see they have this green is for go, when you have plenty of people with the skills you need. Yellow is when they kind of match, and red is when you don't have enough skilled people. So you look, they have this one sheet, it looks like it's all red to me. I mean, it's like a summary of skills that are needed for certain occupations, and there is a lot of red, which means there's a lot of jobs that are having a hard time finding the skilled workers to get them. We also know in our plan, our workforce plan, that we have in some neighborhoods particularly a very low or much lower than our county average labor force participation rate. What does that mean? That means that there are workers that are over 16 that are just, they're not working. They're not working and they're not in school. They're just out of the labor force. And sometimes there's very good reasons to be out of the labor force, like you're retired or you've chosen to stay home and raise your children or something. But when you've got an average of 55% when it should be like 65 or 70%, that causes that raises questions. That means there's people that could be working if they had the skills, right? So how do we help individuals hear about these good jobs? Because if you don't know they're there, you don't even know to pursue them, right? So we know from work that was done, research by the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, that there's 30 what's called opportunity occupations that are in demand right here in Northeast Ohio. By definition, that means you don't need a bachelor's degree, but you have to have post-secondary skills, right? You have to have the skills that are needed. 90% of all jobs that were posted in our area last year require digital skills. Now, it's not surprising. We all have to use computers to work nowadays, right? But 90% actually was the number that on every job posting that was required certain digital skills. So what's the message we need to get out to all of our communities is that there are good jobs that are achievable. There are pathways that will get you to even better jobs that are in demand on a career pathway with family-sustaining wages. But we all need to get there. We all need to get there together. We have great partners, and I don't know who said it, that I think it was Jacob, that sort of the solution is in the room, or Mike Stanton maybe. By us working together, what we'd like to call sort of one direction for workforce development, being led by our board, powered by data, powered by information on what's in demand, that we can work together to come up with great solutions and really make sure that we continue to be a thriving and prosperous economy. So we have a lot of activities planned for this week. Just let me shout out a little. Practically immediately following this event, we'll be racing out to Corporate College East. William Gary, who is Vice President of Workforce and Economic Development at Tri-C, I want to thank you again for your partnership. We're going to be talking about the future of work. We have two great national consultants here, Vince Kohler and Kristen Thompson, all the way from Oakland, California. They work with an organization called Social Policy Research Associates, and they're going to be talking about the future of work, or as they say, when everything gets automated, what's a human to do, right? And it's we'll be looking at that, which will be great. Hopefully most of you can make it. It's also on a webinar. Tomorrow they will also be giving a presentation on apprenticeship, which is a wonderful way for individuals to get the skills in demand, and how do we expand it to other industries and other occupations. Also tomorrow, we want to thank Lincoln Electric Company and Magnet, our friend here, Diane Rosa, who served on our committee, worked with Lincoln Electric to set up an open house for tours tomorrow so that you could actually see these advanced technology center that they've opened up recently. That's a worldwide company. It's supposed to be amazing. I haven't seen it yet. I'd like to see it myself. And we have over 100 young people that will be coming to see what it actually looks like to work in that kind of an advanced manufacturing setting. I see William Houston back there, my friend, director of Job Corps here in Cleveland, and I know that they'll be bringing some young people to Lincoln Electric, as well as James Ford Rhodes High School and some other individuals. So that will be a good event. Also on Wednesday, we're saying individuals across the community, come on in if you want to learn more about in-demand jobs, you want to get registered, you want to figure out what your career pathway is, or how we can help you get access to training to get the skills you need or to get the job that you want. So that will be on Wednesday here. Thursday here, we're having a big job match event. You can see some of these things have been coming up on our monitors. We have over 20 employers who are coming on Thursday with job openings. We're asking people who have the skills and qualifications for those jobs to come on down, and we'll match you up with those employers and hopefully get you employed. And so that is going to be on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have our colleagues. There's Lori Atkinson over there from the Literacy Cooperative, who have also helped sponsor this week, who we are working with on a literacy summit. This is a really interesting approach, which is 2-gen literacy summit. It's like when you're helping young people improve their literacy, you can be helping their parents at the same time, essentially. So it's like it's a lesson that we can carry forward in a number of places that could be applicable. And also on Friday, we are happy to be listed with a sponsor with Google, who is doing Grow with Google, which is a new event down on Public Square. It's pretty much all day. There'll be a number of seminars on entrepreneurship and digital skills and things like that. So it's going to be a busy week. We are hoping that will help get the word out, because like when our committee was sitting around, we're like, what are we doing this for, right? And it's like, so that we can get the word out that there are good jobs in demand, and why it is you should want one of those jobs or look at one of those opportunities, and then how do you access them? How do you get on the pathway? So those are the 3 questions we're trying to answer this week. And it's so exciting to have, as Mickey said, to marry up the data and the information with action. So we're kind of the action side of the information here, and some of our other colleagues that are in the room, like YOU, Craig, and Jill's here from Towards Employment, and others, so that we are the providers. We're the folks that will sit down with individuals looking for those jobs. So we've been trying a number of things recently. We've got partnerships with both Cleveland Public Library and County Library. Our Ohio Means Job services are now available in 10 library branches across the area. We also have been in great partnership both with the library and David Merriman here and Ted Carter from the County Job and Family Services and Economic Development to also expand our services. We're located in the Quincy Place Job and Family Services. We're also located in Old Brooklyn and the Virgil Brown Building. So how do we, through partnerships, continue to expand access? It's like, how do you access this information and act on it? And that's really what we're working on together to continue to hopefully innovate and solve issues that we know need to be solved. So again, I want to thank you for coming. I'm going to hand this back over to our fabulous chair, Mickey Tubbs, who we're so fortunate to have leading the board and its important work. And once again, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Grace. Well, the board's goal in this full week of events that Grace had just, outlined for us is really just to raise awareness and help answer the following questions. What are the in-demand opportunity jobs? Why should current and future job seekers consider them? And what skills would they need? And how would one get the skills and training to get on a career pathway for those jobs? And Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland-Cuyahoga County is here to help, find the answers to that. So with that, we have a few minutes extra here. So are there any questions that anyone would like to ask Grace or any of the presenters today? Any comments? Well, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this kickoff for our In-Demand Jobs Week, and we hope we can see many of you throughout the week at these events. Thank you very much.